The translators to the reader. Zeal to promote the common good, whether it be by devising anything ourselves or revising that which hath been labored by others, deserveth certainly much respect and esteem, but yet findeth but cold entertainment in the world. It is welcome with suspicion instead of love, and with emulation instead of thanks. And if there be any hole left for cavil to enter, and cavil, if it do not find a hole, will make one, it is sure to be misconstructed and in danger to be condemned. This will easily be granted by as many as know story or have any experience. For was there ever anything projected that favored any way of newness or renewing, but the same endured many a storm of gainsaying or opposition? A man would think that civility, wholesome laws, learning, and eloquent synods and church maintenance, that we speak of no more thing of this kind, should be as safe as a sanctuary in or of shop, as they say, that no man would lift up the heel, no, nor dog move his tongue against the motioners of them. For by the first we are distinguished from brute beasts led with sensuality. By the second we are bridled and restrained from outrageous behavior and from doing of injuries, whether by fraud or by violence. By the third we are enabled to inform and reform others by the light and feeling that we have attained unto ourselves. Briefly, by the fourth, being brought together to a parley face to face, we sooner compose our differences than by writings which are endless. And lastly, that the church be sufficiently provided for is so agreeable to good reason and conscience that those mothers are holden to be less cruel that kill their children as soon as they are born than those nursing fathers and mothers, wheresoever they be, that would draw from them who hang upon their breast, and upon whose breast again themselves do hang, to receive the spiritual and sincere milk of the word, livelihood and support fit for their estates. Thus it is apparent that these things which we speak of are of most necessary use, and therefore that none, either with absurdity, can speak against them, or without note of wickedness can spurn against them. Yet of all that, the learned know that certain worthy men have been brought to untimely death for none other fault but to seeking to reduce their countrymen to good order and discipline. And that in some common wills it was made a capital crime once to motion the making of a new law for the abrogating of an old, although the same were most pernicious. And that certain which would be counted pillars of the state and patterns of virtue and prudence could not be brought for a long time to give way to a good letters and refined speech, but bear themselves as adverse from them as from rocks or boxes of poison. And fourthly, that he was no babe, but a great clerk that gave forth, and in writing to reign to posterity, in passion pre-adventure, but yet he gave forth that he had not seen any profit to come by any synod or meeting of the clergy, but rather the contrary. And lastly, against church maintenance and allowance and such sort, as the ambassadors and messengers of the great King of Kings should be furnished, it is unknown what is fiction or fable, so it is esteemed, and for no better by the reporter himself, through those superstitious, was devised, namely that at such time as the professors and teachers of Christianity in the Church of Rome, then a church, was liberally endowed, a voice forsooth was heard from heaven saying, now is poison poured down into the church, and etc. Thus not only as oft do we speak as one faith, but also as oft as we do anything of note or consequence. We subject ourselves to every one's censor, and happy is he that is least tossed upon tongues. For utterly to escape the snatch of them it is impossible. If any man conceit, that is the lot and portion of the meaner sort only, and that princes are privileged by their high estate, he is deceived. As the sword devoureth as well one as the other, as it is in Samuel, nay, as the great commander charged his soldiers in a certain battle to strike at no part of the enemy, but at the face. And as the king of Syria commanded his chief captains to fight neither with small nor great, save only against the king of Israel, so it is true that envy striketh more spitefully at the fairest and at the chiefest. David was a worthy prince, and no man to be compared to him for his first deeds, and yet for as worthy an act as ever he did, even for bringing back the ark of God in solemnity, he was scorned and scoffed at by his own wife. Solomon was greater than David, though not in virtue, yet in power. And by his power and wisdom he built a temple to the Lord, such as one as was the glory of the land of Israel and the wonder of the whole world. But was that his magnificence liked of by all? We doubt of it. Otherwise, why do they lay it in his son's dish and call unto him for easing of the burden? Make, say they, that the grievous servitude of thy father and his sore yoke lighter. Belike he had charged them with some levies and troubled them with some carriages. Hereupon they raise up a tragedy and wish in their heart the temple had never been built. So hard a thing it is to please all, even when we please God best, and do seek to approve ourselves to everyone's conscience.